And we are live, guys. Welcome to another live stream from the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. Today, we are going to talk about what it means to become masculine when in terms of stimulants. We're going to discuss stimulants today. And some of you guys need to hear this. I just had someone texted me a couple of days ago on Instagram, and I'll just read this one for you guys. And he said, "Hey, is it okay to drink few beers, alcohol, on the weekends while you are on SR?" And that's seed retention. My question to him was, is your goal masculinity? He said, yes. Then why use stimulants at all? Stay away from drugs, alcohol, cigarettes, etc. And I'll also include there PMO, okay? PMO being prawn, masturbation, and orgasm. So, why is this important? Well, let's first start with masculinity. What is masculinity? How does that work? What is it? Masculinity is the ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, independent of circumstance, at all times and in all places. This is a very tall task, a very tall order for all of us, okay? But we have to get there at some point in time. And we need all of the assistance that we can get. And I'll tell you right now that all of those things that I just mentioned, of things that you need to get rid of, out of your life, gone forever, okay? Those things actually impede your progress towards masculinity. Is literally keeping you in your femininity or making you even more feminine. And that's what we're discussing today and why that is. You see, the aspect of becoming masculine, the goal is for you to become independent of any assistance from anything that is destructive to you. In order for you to be masculine, there's nothing wrong with receiving the assistance of others and then moving ahead as a team of masculine men towards your end destination and goals that you guys have together or separately. However, when you begin to talk about stimulants, things that have been created in order for you to feel good and to not feel bad, and for you to use as a crutch to survive and to, comfort yourself, that's a problem. So why do people do these things? Why do people drink alcohol? Why do people smoke cigarettes? Why do people do drugs? They want to feel good. That's it. That's one of the biggest reasons why they start. First, okay, maybe in high school it is that you kind of want to be cool. Everyone else is doing it, so you might as well try it, right? And then you try it out, and it's like, for most people, I guess, it feels good. And so you want more of it. And then you take more, and then you become worse, and then you take more, and you become worse. Some people just obviously do it as part of a, party situation. And then other people end up being habitually using it on a daily basis. Now, obviously, which one's better, which one's worse? We understand that being addicted to something is way worse, and that is complete femininity. People don't look at it as femininity. I do, with all my heart, okay? Like, if you understand how bad it will make your discipline and your judgment in everything else that you do, just as a simple result of you using those things, you would quit today, immediately. You want to feel good, and that's great, okay? We all want to feel good. We all want to have wonderful emotions. However, imagine if you could live a life where you feel good all of the time without stimulants. Is that possible? Absolutely. You have to realize that is a possibility, and you have to make a decision that that's what you want for your life. And you got to start at one small step at a time. Maybe you don't have, big problems with the majority of these things. But if it's one of them that you're like, man, I gotta hold on to this one. Nah, I mean, come on. I gotta hold on to it. I'm telling you right now, you're basically saying, let me hold on to my femininity, man. I just gotta have my femininity. You're gonna keep it with you for life. It's a very interesting decision. Feeling good in the now when you are putting away the long term. Okay, so you're basically saying the long term is not that big a deal compared to the now. I want to feel amazing right now. I don't care about what happens long term. You're not really then seeing the big picture as a masculine man. As a masculine man, you take the past, the present, and the future all into consideration. You're basically saying, okay, the past, this is what has happened with people that use alcohol, or people that use drugs, or people that, smoke. This is what happens. We have tons of case studies over people that have been using it over an extended period of time. Okay, the data's there. That's the past. And then you've got your present, and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like having one right now, right? And then you've got your future, and you want an amazing future. All of us do. And you want a future where you are in control of yourself. All of us do. You want a future where people look up to you, not down on you for the habits and behaviors that you have. All of us hopefully do. And then you also know that you want your body to be functioning at its utmost capability until you're 120, 150, 100, 200 years old. Obviously, I'm over exaggerating, but wouldn't it be nice if we figured out a way how to prolong our lives that much? Without plugging in the AI. Imagine if you could do that. The only way you're going to extend your lifespan is by, most important thing is to be fired up outside your brain, being positive. That has been proven to be one of the most important things in order to increase life expectancy. But other than that, it's basically being able to stay away from stuff that is focused on immediate gratification, and rather using things that are sustainably possible for you to use over an extended period of time without it harming your body. You only get one of those. So you got to keep it and make sure that it functions as optimally as possible for the longest possible time. What is it that you're trying to run away from? Because when you're using stimulants, you're running away from something. You're suppressing an emotion. You're suppressing a negative vibe. You're suppressing trauma. You're doing something. Or is it just for fun? What is it that makes it more fun when you use, let's say, use alcohol as an example? Some guys, okay, women say that they become more of who they are. In other words, masculine women need alcohol, okay, if they're extremely burdened. They just need one split second and moment of femininity where they can let go and surrender and just have things happen to them and enjoy the now. And so they, for a split second, okay, or for a few hours, they manage to become feminine again. And then they sober up and they, and all of the havoc that comes as an after effect of, being drunk, etc., happens to them. They don't enjoy that. Oh man, wouldn't it be nice if you could get drunk and then not have the after effects? Don't work like that. In the same way, you as a feminine man, when you use alcohol as an example, very often people report that they feel more masculine as a result. In what way? Well, they feel more confident. They feel more able to, go up to women and talk to them. They feel more, like they can do anything. Of course. That's what alcohol does. What does it do? It gives you a fake sense of masculinity. But it's still fake. It's completely fake. And you understand that the longer you try to fake masculinity, the less masculinity, real masculinity, you're going to develop over time. I feel very sad for those guys that end up not wanting to progress towards masculinity and wanting to be stuck in their femininity because they want to stick to these stimulants for as long as possible. Control over your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors independent of circumstances. That's masculinity. When you cannot control the fact that you need a cigarette right now, that's being feminine because you are focused on the now. It's only now that matters. And the now is so intense. Intense emotions is feminine when they're focused on things that you don't want. Okay? If you have intense emotions about things that you actually do want and that are sustainable and that are actually good for you long term and in the big picture, intense emotions can be fantastic. But if they're focused on things that is going to degrade you or deprave you of the things that you truly want long term, that's going to be feminine for you. In addition to that, I did a very simple, investment calculator thing where I wrote, $5 a day, $35 a week for 50 years. And I put 7% as the interest rate. You should definitely be able to have a higher interest rate than 7. Not from the bank, obviously, but from you actually becoming a man of high value and developing investments, developing businesses, etc., then your money can go long ways. Why not get 10 or 20 or 30% interest rate compounded over time, right? So, it could be a lot more than the numbers that I'm using here, but as an example. The end result before taxes and inflation, gotta count for that too, before that was approximately $780,000 over 50 years with 7% interest rate. And that's that's quite a lot. So you can measure for yourself. How much do you actually spend on stuff like that? Do you spend more than $5 a day on average? Do you spend more than $35 a week? Because in that case, there you go. Maybe it comes up to $1 million or $2 million. But what's the point though? If you're going to become a multi-millionaire, you got to have fun too, right? However, why use your investments or your investment cash to destroy you and your ability to become powerful over time? It doesn't make any sense to me, right? So, and if you're able to become a masculine man, you learn you learn investments, you learn trading, you learn businesses, etc., you're definitely going to be able to get higher interest rates than that. So those 780,000 could have probably become more like $5 million, $5 million, $10 million, whatever it is. So just as an example. Also, since we're talking about an example, you're going to have women in the future, especially if you have 3 in love. You're going to have kids in the future, and you're going to have grandkids in the future. Do you want them to continue the behaviors that you have accumulated? Do you want them to drink alcohol? Do you want them to do PMO? Do you want them to smoke? Do you want them to insert something bad here? If you don't want them to, because you know that it's bad for them, that's also one of the reasons why you quit. A masculine man is a leader, and he's an example for those that come after him. And it's not only your family members that you're an example for. Every single person that sees you drink, that sees you smoke, that sees you do drugs or smoke weed or do whatever it is that you're doing is watching. And monkey see, monkey do. Which means that if they see you do it and they look up to you because you know a lot of cool stuff and you're actually progressing in your life and you're doing what you're doing, you taking that puff, you taking that drink is being a negative example on them right there and then. You want people to take you seriously. You want people to respect you. I recommend that you simply stay the heck away from all those things. Because in that way, you get to be free. In that way, you get to be unaddicted. Okay? You won't be addicted to anything. Maybe you'll be addicted to work. But that's a positive thing, and that's something you can easily take a break from and learn to also enjoy and relax and, and recuperate. But you want to get to that point where there are no negative addictions in your life. You cannot be a masculine man with the stamp of approval from the men of high value system while being addicted. That doesn't make any sense. Now, am I talking about this in order for you, for you guys to get depressed or for you guys to like, oh my gosh, there's so many changes to make in my life? It's beautiful once you understand the 80-hour work week. The 80-hour work week will handle the vast majority of these. The 80-hour work week will definitely help you to overcome PMO. The 80-hour work week will definitely help you to overcome alcohol if you actually stick to your sleeping schedule. You wake up early in the morning, you go to bed early at night. If you do that every single day as part of your CEO schedule, an 80-hour work week, you won't drink. Because drinking usually happens after 9 o'clock at night. It can happen before, but it's rare. Most people drink late at night with their friends. If you're addicted, you drink other times as well. So there are certain times, there are certain, people that need to be gathered around you in order for you to actually do those behaviors. When it comes to cigarettes, it's a bit tricky one. I know some people who do the 80-hour work week and still smoke cigarettes. Okay? And but as they progress on their journey and begin to understand more about masculinity and how to apply it and how to control their thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, quitting cold turkey with cigarettes is way more than possible. There is a process to it, and you got to understand that. And it might take time, but eventually you will overcome it and you will conquer it. And you will have to conquer it if you want to become a masculine man. So those are the things I wanted to share with you guys today. It's very simple, very to the point about what is needed for you to become a man of high value. When I see Michael Jordan smoke cigars, I'm like, that's not high value. It's not. Oh, you're rich enough to smoke Cuban cigars. Good for you. Why do you need them? To feel good? It's disappointing. It deducts points from my respect for them. Obviously, I respect everything that they've done, but there's a small deduction going on. You're always constantly evaluating people everywhere that you go. And you're looking at that person as like, man, that guy's amazing. Man, that guy, there's some things that I don't like about that guy. You don't want people to judge you and evaluate you based on those things and deduct points from you and your character from what they see you do that are negative and that are bad for you and that is bad for everyone around you. So I'm fired up about it because I've actually stayed away from alcohol ever since I was 16 years old. I tried it maybe 2 or 3 times. Okay, well, 14, 15, 16 years old. Never got drunk. The last time when I was 16 years old, I took a small part of whatever it was. Have no idea. It was alcoholic and it was quite high percentage. And I mixed it with the milk. It was just at a party and I was just, being a bit wild, being extreme with one of my friends. And both of us did not drink. So we were just like, okay, since everyone is drinking, let's just try for fun. And then we did that. And it had not really any effect on me whatsoever. Tasted horrible. I never tasted it again. Cigarettes. I tried several, okay? I was horrible at it when I was 14 years old. My friends were all smoking, okay? It was that kind of a town, small town. And you were cool if you smoked. And that's the one year that probably was the worst year of my life, actually. And I tried it out, and it was horrible. And I've never smoked a cigarette ever since. Coffee? Never, ever tasted coffee in my life. The list goes on and on. But the point is, right now, there are no addictions in my life, okay? Other than, sometimes I watch YouTube a bit too much. I checked my screen time today and how much I had actually watched today. And it was, in my opinion, it was a little bit much, compared to the work that I need to do. But obviously, the work that I do requires a lot of constant information. However, I think that's also one thing we should put on our list. How much do you watch YouTube? Obviously, my videos are long, but do you watch my videos and then Casey Zander's videos and then the roommates' videos and then those guys' videos and then those guys' videos? Like, how long are we just going to sit in front of the screen? If you do the 80-hour work week, that's not going to happen. You're going to get rid of that addiction too. Let's make this the quest for the next 6 months of the year. Let's get rid of all of our addictions. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling, and I'll see you guys in the next one.